Greetings everyone and welcome to another episode of A Tale of Dice. Again, we are gathered here today to be a bunch of nerds, have some fun and roll some dice. First off, before we get... Oh god, I can see myself. That's weird. Oh my god.
Terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, I was experiencing real life lag. I mean, like my mouth moved and then my mouth moved on the screen. Before we get into tonight's game, we have a couple of things that we would like to share with you. First off, we announced that our sheets would be painted. As you can see,
they're not.
We tried. It is a work in progress. Shit's difficult.
Wait, how did you paint the sheets and then
there's
manage to
no,
unpaint
There's
them?
another one.
Those were the difficulties. No,
We washed them and it's gone now.
They painted it with invisible ink.
Yeah.
You wash them
and it's gone now.
and the paint was not
yeah, that's
waterproof.
a very big problem. No,
all of the clothes are completely effed, but
no. What happened was we started with our beautiful design for the background of the DM, which we started painting a nice dungeon wall because, well, we will be exploring some dungeons as is the nature of this game. We started it off. Weren't finished yet, so it would be very, very ugly to hang it behind me right now. We will be working on it furthermore this week, so surely but slowly you will be seeing a difference behind me and afterwards also behind our players on the left and on the right as well. Next to that, we did have a small improvement to the live stream because you can already hear we are sailing at the high seas right now, because we now have available for ourselves the beautiful sound packets of Sirenscape, one of the powerful tools available online for use of tabletop RPGs.
all thanks to our current patrons.
Yeah, indeed, because, well, this shit costs money, but now not for us, but for our patrons. So, yeah.
So thank you so much for donating. We love you.
So to give you an example,
Not just for your money.
Just for your money.
Well,
No.
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 we love you because you're our friends, and you're our friends because you pay us money. No, but it's beautiful, man. You have like all these different types of soundboard. For example, we started off this whole endeavor and campaign with a goblin raid. So if that would have happened, we could have put on this, and the goblins are invading the city. Oh my God!
Watch out, Arrow! They come for your fries!
Well, it's either that or Hannah's being attacked by a centipede again.
But this time, Iro, they also have bombs. Look out! Explosion! Somebody gets whacked by a goblin. Beautiful, beautiful.
Beautiful.
So yeah, so all these types. And last week we were in a storm. At first, the storm was gathering. The goblins are running away now because the storm is coming.
That's a fact. Goblins are afraid of
Storm is
storms.
coming. And then there was
It's in the monster strike.
lightning.
Yeah.
That's
Very
very loud.
So there are.
That's very, very frightening.
So yeah, no, but we got all of these beautiful different soundboards available for us right now, which we will use throughout the stream to hopefully improve the sound quality of everything and giving my throat a little bit rest with all those different sounds that I should
Well,
make
we do
otherwise.
still expect you to make those sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, do it, Wouter.
Do lightning.
Damn, that sounds realistic as fuck, man.
Oh no, wait. Actually, I prefer the program.
Understandably so. So this is the first small improvement to our live stream, and the other improvements like the background drop here will come as well. And next to that, of course, also the quality of our acting hopefully will improve throughout the whole stream process.
Yeah, Crystal.
We're working on it.
Yeah. Well, Crystal also already improved her own character with like the beautiful, well, colors.
Hurts, man.
Hey.
These are real tears.
And to be honest, Crystal is the only one who actually improved her character
Charlie.
cosplay throughout the whole sessions, because right now she is wearing the different colors.
Hey, you
that she
guys
will
have not seen how much red I've been wearing.
until you have like a painted mohawk in all the different colors of the rainbow as like Gracal's spikes.
Well, to be honest, his hair is red.
We do
Yeah, my
expect
hair is
Fair
red
enough,
too.
fair
Can't see
enough.
it on the stream though.
we do expect a mohawk at the end
Yeah.
of this whole ordeal.
Let's buy Charlie a colored like rainbow mohawk, like wig to put
I
on.
see our next Patreon goal.
There we go. There we go.
Okay.
So, but of course, because we need all these things bought with money, we are searching for sponsors. And again, I believe that we have another sponsored video, sponsored content from Llama, our alpaca.
Yeah.
So, Maxime, can you take it away?
Have you ever had exams? Well, fuck exams. It's that actually.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it?
exam week. So Llama's sponsor of the week is Screw Exams.
How is this a product?
I don't get
No,
it.
it's not much of more. It's not really a product, but more
Basically,
a-
Maxime did not have the
Statement?
time to do anything.
No,
That's
it's more.
basically it,
No, it's
right?
more. It's more a product statement. It's
It's philosophical thought.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a philosophical thought. It's a place to.
So
come
Llama
hither
basically
and-
burns down all the exams, or
Wait, Llama's still studying?
No, yeah, of course.
Llama's right here.
he's studying us.
He's like it's
He
like
is-
psychology, but
He
if,
is
if
the-
psychology was studying ants.
He is the second best anthropologist on this table. Yeah.
Llama's
yeah,
like
that's about it.
Llama's like a chameleon, you know, with two eyes that can look at different places, and those two eyes are like studying our four players, like independently.
Well, that's why most animals that are being hunted have
they
the
have
eyes
it
on
on
the
the
side
side.
of the
Yeah,
head,
yeah, so they can see everything.
see.
Okay, great sponsor. Thanks.
So, fuck exams.
Good job.
Also,
if
good
you,
luck with your exams.
Yeah. So,
very
but
much.
also,
I
so
cry
if,
much.
if this outcry of Llama actually helped you in one way, you owe Llama money. So that's how the product works, right? Like
Yeah,
he says,
you
fuck
can-
exams, and
you
then
can
if you feel
donate
better,
to a
then
bigger cause, and we'll just spend it on
to fuck more exams.
yeah, either that or the Mohawk for.
I
Coupon.
hope YouTube is not gonna take us down for all the F word we use.
You know what?
Nah, fuck
I
that.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think they do that.
No.
And if so,
YouTube
they're-
demonetizing videos? Since when did they do that?
Yeah.
And we have no Twitch partnership yet to waste, so you know it's all good.
Fine.
We're good. We're good.
We
So
can talk about it, Hong Kong though.
We can't talk about Hong Kong.
Let's
look,
not.
look, look,
Yeah,
look. The only
let's
political
not.
situation
Or
we will
about the
get
Chinese
into.
guy looking like Winnie the Pooh.
The only political situation we will get into is of the empire of Novocrest itself. So let's just like get into
Let's
Well,
stick
that.
to our
them.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Quick
politics.
question: does the emperor resemble a certain bear of sorts?
Because if he does, I would definitely enjoy it.
Well, more like an owl bear then, because fantasy. You
It's
know?
something for us to find out.
Yeah, Owly the
answer.
bear.
All right,
Sure.
so with all this out of the way, and it seems we're a little bit corny today, let's jump into tonight's episode of A Tale of Dice. So, shall we play a game? And we're back. Last time we left our heroes at the helm of the Bellathrone, a large seafaring vessel on its way to the far, far north of Novocrest, on a long journey to hunt down the Maddox, the one that actually enslaved Krokal and a lot of other different slaves as well. The Bellathrone had hired our adventuring party, the Pack, to help them on their perilous journey further north as bodyguards. And last week we saw that the Pack could actually make their value known to the rest of the crew as they were encountering pterodactyl-like creatures that were seemingly in the middle of nowhere on this dark ocean night, coming from somewhere at least, attacking the vessel. They also seem to be a little bit electrically charged, just like a little bit like on edge or something, which became apparently clear when Hannah eventually throwed her signature electric arc spell against these large chickens, being enveloped in like lightning and also making clear that the lightning also struck from far up in the sky.
So I recently watched an episode of Planet Earth, and they showed that these albatross-like birds always fly across the ocean, right? And they're always scavenging for something. So, I like when I watched that episode, and we bumped into something at the end of that episode. I was like,
And
that happened to us.
And it seems that Krokal, or at least Charlie at this point, is right, because as you bumped into something very large from the bow of your ship, some of you, including Dural, ran to the edge of the ship, looked down, and just exclaimed, "What the hell is that?" And that's where we'll pick up this day. So, still heaving and hoeing from the combat, large dead chickens on the deck of your ship. What do you want to do?
Quick question: what the hell is that?
Yeah, we all run to the edge of the ship.
Well,
Run to the edge of the ship.
Someone has like this cool light spell.
Dancing lights.
In the host of the night, you walk up to it still, because right now you're only like 5 feet up into the air. You can already see that this thing is large. And when Hannah pulls out her large staff, 3 globules of light scatter outward, and you can see a huge shell. A huge shell with large points. A large reptilian beak at the top of it, which almost looks like a little bit dragon-esque with large horns. As the captain actually walks up to the bar as well and looks down and says, "My God, this is a dragon turtle. A humongous turtle with some dragon-esque like features lies below you beneath the waves. And as you look at it, you can already see as the shell, like where a normal tortoise shell has like the normal like hexagonic plates, instead of it they have large horns at the top. And you have like 2 horns, and you can eventually even see electricity running through them.
Is it dead?
As you walk up to it, you can already smell rotting flesh. This dragon turtle has been long dead, and it seems that these creatures came from this humongous beast.
Yeah, they were scavenging. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Shame.
No.
Big, strong creature.
Yeah, it would have devoured us whole.
What maybe killed it? Strong beast.
Can
No?
I,
Strong
Hannah.
warrior.
Hannah? Can you
Yeah.
shine your lights a bit more around it?
Yeah, and I just move them.
Can I see any wounds? Any?
You cannot really see any wounds, but you do see some black spots on the shell itself, and also one like on the side of the head, where like the horn is also cracked a little bit. Go ahead and make a nature check for me, please.
14.
14. You've seen multiple burn marks from like the arc lightning from Hannah, for example, and it seems to be somewhat of a similar burn spots. This creature has been struck by lightning, like multiple times.
Oh, so the lightning isn't originating from it, but
No.
like it got struck so hard it's still in there? Or okay.
Do I think, like, I saw some electricity coming off it, right?
Mhm.
Do I feel like if I touch it, I will get electrocuted?
You can see like the energy still inside it, like sometimes it just it seems to be, well, as far as your understanding
It's
of
pulsing
lightning
a bit.
goes, it's pulsing still. It seems to have energy in it.
I grab one of my 84 arrows, which I'm probably gonna turn into 83, because I throw one of my arrows just down at the corpse just to see what happens once it touches.
As the arrowhead hits the shell, you can actually see like small sparks, as if you would like hit something that is conducting electricity with like another piece that conducts electricity. Like,
I'll be
sparks coming
honest,
up.
Grakal's first impulse was to jump down
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Mine too. But,
Same. I just want to touch
is
it.
our
I
ship
thought about like
connected?
having
Am I the
Durals
only
jump
one
down,
that-
just like, well, let's find out why it died. Whoop.
Am I the
Is-
only one who hasn't had the intent to jump on the
Yeah.
big turtle and
Yeah.
see?
Is our ship connected?
Ironically, you actually have to jump because like the railing is a little bit high, so you have to jump to look over it.
Is our ship connected to the turtle?
The turtle just bounced off it, and now it's like drifting slowly past you as your
The-
ship is
the
just
ship
like,
is wooden, so
Yeah, fair.
so I
Look at
imagine
it.
no explosions.
no explosions. Although if you want to act on this turtle, you will have to do it like within the next 5 minutes, or at least like get your ship like to stop moving.
Captain, can we circle around it?
Well, first off, I'm standing right next to you. Yes. Although I must say that I'm a bit intrigued by this creature.
Yes.
Do you want to have a look?
Danny, any way that we can haul this further? Well, I suppose we can use some nets, although I would strongly recommend that nobody touch that thing over there.
Do we have some rubber shoes by any chance?
Rubber shoes? No.
Maybe Grakal have idea. We shoot with big arrows, and I point at the ballistas. We shoot with big arrows,
Well, that
and
was,
we pull.
that was one of my ideas as well. See, try to pierce it, or we could see if we can. I don't know if we still have some large nets.
I think
in
you
the hole,
smart
but
man too.
isn't this turtle bigger than the ship?
The turtle is gargantuan, so it's like a third of the ship. It's like
Okay.
as broad as the ship,
Okay.
but it's only
I
like
was
a third.
expecting bigger,
Yeah, I was
so
expecting
this makes
bigger.
me happy.
That's doable. Like you have a fairly large vessel.
Would we
to
be
give
able
you
to lift it up the
to
ship
give
on
you
the ship?
an idea?
Do we want
That sounds. Yeah. Why? To be honest.
Well,
It's full of electricity. Like,
And it's
if we-
rotting.
yeah,
that
but
as
it's a
well.
dragon.
Yeah, what do you want to do with it?
Ingredient.
Yes,
It's rotting.
So, is fangs and everything?
it is dragon.
Just
That
to give you
look
an
like
idea.
Dragon.
Well, it's
That's a dragon turtle right over there.
as far as I'm aware, it's one of the, well, it's dragon kin.
Like me. It
Go
is
ahead,
like me then.
Go ahead and make another nature check to see what you know
Your
about dragon
family?
turtles, Allison.
18.
Going over into your mind, there are you know like the hard distinction between true dragons and like the rest. You know, so you have the true dragons, like the metallic ones, which are the good ones, and the chromatic ones, which are the bad ones, for anyone that wouldn't know. And then you have a lot of other creatures that fall under the draconic type. For example, you've heard about those small creatures named kobolds, and you've heard about wyverns, and you've heard
Drakes.
about
Grokkol.
drakes and Grokkol. Well, Grokkol's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
the-
true. But aside
Fair
from that,
No, weirdly enough, the scholars still aren't really clear about what dragonborns are. Like if they are like lizard folk that turned weird, or if they are like have some dragon blood in them, or whatever. They're still a little bit unsure of that. Although they do not fit the draconic archetype to that letter.
okay.
So, for example, if you would translate it into gameplay terms, for example, Grokkol would count as a humanoid, and not as a dragon like subtype of a creature. But this large creature right here in the water surely would fit the draconic type. Yes.
I would say we just let it float by.
Well,
No.
I would really like to have the materials, to be honest.
Strong beast. Good food.
Maybe we should let the captain decide.
Not good
because
food.
it's not
Danny.
our ship.
Go and try out Grokkol's idea. See if we can. You still have the one of the practice bolts ready, right? I do, sir. All right, get it ready. Let's see if we can pierce. I would say not the shield of this creature, but perhaps the head. Can anyone see any limbs? And if you take a closer look, you can actually see that there are some limbs just a little bit below the water, just
Like little turtle flippers. Or,
well,
relatively little.
relatively, like this is the creature's combat space. Like its flippers themselves are also like at least like 10 feet, like 3 or 4 meters.
I grab another, like, just, I mean, it's a ship. I imagine there's just rope everywhere, you know?
There
so-
are some, yeah. There
Yeah,
are some,
so I grab
some
some
like-
rope, another one of the bolts, and I, like, push it in Hannah's face. You tie. She makes way
That's
better knots
fair.
than I do.
Okay, I
In the meantime, I lay on hands on myself because I had 24 damage.
As the adrenaline is coming
you
down
can
a
only
little
do
bit.
that once a 10 minutes, right?
Yeah,
As the
so-
adrenaline
Not
is
too bad.
coming down, Iroh falls out of Mount instead. Just, well,
survival,
he
right?
literally just falls to the
yeah,
ground.
it would be a survival.
Are you?
I have 1 hit point left.
Oh, okay.
have
Allison
3.
completely forgets about the dragon and starts medicining people
Fuck. Okay. So Allison is getting ready, like his whole supply kit, getting all the different bandages and like disinfectants out, getting ready. Okay, Iroh, come over, and he's bandaging you up.
Did you roll
So this
back?
will,
It's 14.
14?
Total, yeah.
Okay. Because time is of the essence, as the turtle is surely but slowly like drifting by. You have tied another bolt. At the same time, Danny was already. Grokkol, get your muscles over here.
Yes. I
So-
get my muscles over there.
As Hannah is tying this knot, you can actually use one of the other ballistas with the tied bolt on it, which was the practice
Yeah.
one, to already shoot at the turtle.
Nice. So I just want to emphasize during previous combats, so Grokkol, like, they had just eaten and it was raining, right? So Grokkol had taken his armor off. So Grokkol's still in his loincloth. It's like, it's just pure muscle as he's rotating that ballista, right? It's just like, whoa. Just say.
Then he is like under his breath, show off. And the ballista is now ready in place to fire. So go ahead and make a attack roll, which is dexterity based.
Are we sure we're gonna have? Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. That's a 19 total.
It's
That's a
19.
natural 13.
Under the water, you can hear like a splash and like a duff, like thud, and you can then the whole
Really?
tortoise shell begins to shift as you have pierced like the right leg, and now it's like shifting a little bit as the rope is slowly but surely getting taut.
We're gonna be
I did not expect us to be able to hit the AC of a turtle.
Yeah, but
Well, I mean, it's flat-footed at the very least.
It's
Like I
dead.
think that counts more as a coup de grace.
I think
this
it's
is more of
is that
a,
a
this
thing
is more
in
of a
this
skill
game?
check. Like
Yeah,
if
it's dead.
If you wanted to pierce like the outer shell, you would have to have a larger roll than this.
Question, because apparently I haven't read the books well enough, is a coup de grace a thing here in this game?
Like,
If the rogue doesn't
Assassin-
have like
yeah.
a feat that is called that, they have done a very poor job, I feel.
yeah, high level rogue.
Oh, really? It's
Master
not just
strike.
something someone.
Master strikes.
Okay, okay, fair.
It seems like something roguish.
Insta kill.
But one of the
Fair.
bolts is now lodged solid. At the same time, Hannah, you are now ready with the other bolt.
Yep.
Do you want to go and fire it at the turtle as well?
I'm not strong.
You're,
No,
you
no,
have
it's
to
a
be
dexterity
dexterity.
thing.
Oh,
Which
I
is
have
not that bad.
dex. I can do. Yeah, sure.
Here, let me help you with this one. As Dural is actually getting it in place for you, and you only have to do like the short swivel. It has like a large base that you need to rotate into the right position, and then there's like a loose shivel place that it can actually rotate a little bit to get it into pinpoint
So she gets an 8?
precision. So that is well, if someone wants to aid her.
Well, the rolls.
Dural is actually just using his action to get it into place. If someone wants to aid Hannah, go ahead and say it right
I'm
now.
busy with him.
I'm busy.
Okay, so go
Being
ahead and make
myself.
your dexterity-based attack roll. So dexterity and proficiency. Just a normal basic
That's
trained.
This number.
Oh. Yeah, 13.
13. In the water.
Yeah.
All right.
Call try.
2 times the charm, I guess. As Dural is getting ready to like quickly pull it back in.
Wait, I have to do it another.
Well, you missed.
Okay.
At this moment in
Just
time,
use
the
another
turtle
die.
is already
Okay, okay,
halfway past. Clink.
11.
11.
Way better.
Crap, 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 crap. You fire the bolt on the shield.
Oh no.
Shatters.
Maybe
I'm
call
sorry.
try.
All right, so that didn't go as planned.
Maybe someone else should.
Grakal walks up, and I mean, out of character, I have the same mod as you. I just roll better, you know? So,
We already established that like your side has one of the high rolls. Like today, it seems to be Charlie's turn.
Are you
to
still
roll high.
green? She's red now.
it's frustration. Yeah.
This Eladrin elf, which
a little
changes
bit
color
blue
with
as
her
well.
different emotions, now turns red.
I was red and then I turned
Yeah, so
green and
Grakal
I'm
looks
red
at
again.
you as he kind of taps you on the shoulder, and he's like, oh, you're red. Okay. Maybe Grakal try,
Yeah,
please?
I guess.
First off, someone needs to tie it up again.
Oh, you
I'll
tie.
Okay, go ahead and make another survival check.
Isn't it still tied
My
to?
god. 13.
Now you need to tie another bolt because like the last bolt just shattered on the shell of the turtle.
Ah, oh the
So-
Broken.
Grakal,
the bolt
you
shattered.
as the bolt is right up there, you are already like aiming at it, and eventually Hannah just at the nick of time. Okay, got it. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
If I miss now, I'm gonna look like a real dick.
Yeah.
I miss. No, that's a 13.
That's a 13. Into the water.
Nah.
And what was your tying check? Like what do you roll?
13.
13? Okay. So, all right. At this moment in time, the first ballista is getting taut as the full force of this turtle is now pulling on one rope as it.
Allison runs up, just leaves him be for a little. Just wait a minute, and
I'll just
he
sit.
runs up and tries to aid you.
Okay. So go ahead and make
Or
your
do we,
attack.
do you want me to make the shot? Do you want to make a shot?
I think your dexterity is way better
Yeah,
than
but
mine.
Allison
What
just
do you do? Do you
runs
put
up
your
to help.
Grakal
He runs
aside?
up to help.
I'm cool with doing the aiding trick.
Yeah?
Like Grakal,
Like
Grakal
steps
is
aside as
yeah,
Allison
Grakal
runs
is
up.
kind of like just confused, like, oh, I thought I was gonna hit.
Okay.
Well, sure, Allison's probably a smart guy.
So both of you make dexterity
Do I need
with
to tie
trained
it up one?
proficiency. Yeah, of course you do.
Oh, but
Oh no, wait, this one was still was
yeah.
tied. Yeah, yeah. So this one still there. Okay, so the A check fails. I feel. Okay.
Okay, this is
Natural one.
a what was it?
Dexterity and
and-
trained proficiency.
Yeah.
Okay,
So like a ranged
that's
attack.
26.
26. As you are aiming the bolt, and as like the turtle gets taut, you can actually see one of the other limbs. Like you had like the left forearm, and now the right forearm is just like coming a little bit above the water and
Yes.
beautifully.
Nice.
Immediately the rope goes taut, and the weight is now distributed between the two ballistas.
And Allison just immediately walks off to Iro again.
Tick, tick. And so, amateurs. Okay, can get back to work.
Let's
So
see.
where were we? And he goes tying up Iro again.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see if I make this medicine. Nope.
Can't
10.
have it all.
Nope.
So Allison
So does that
stabs
mean
That's,
you-
that's
Iro with a
just putting
scalpel.
on a band-aid and ripping it right off.
Does that mean you can try again?
This fails for like an hour, I feel.
10
or what?
minutes.
10 minutes. Oh,
10 minutes.
Well, it took 10 minutes.
It
But
takes,
now it takes 10 minutes to do.
Yeah, I think an hour, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then if you fail, because
Well,
otherwise you could just like.
I'll have 6 lay on hands. in that
Yeah.
hour.
So you guys will be fine.
Yeah.
Like
Can
during the
someone
rest.
heal-
Unless the
heal me
dragon
as
turtle
well?
comes to life.
During the rest of the evening, the different sailors that are still awake or are now waking up because of the huge ruckus are using their turns to basically just like get a line to all hold up like the rope, untie it from the ballista and move it all the way back. So you have like 2 nice ropes at the back of your ship that can like haul the turtle. So right now the turtle would be eventually just like right over there, like being hauled
Could you
behind the
show
ship.
the map for a second? Just so like the audience can see.
I'll try medicine both of them too.
Oh, I thought we were already showing it. Gasp.
For Hannah, that's a success with her 19.
How much do I heal?
Keep forgetting to the 8.
All right,
So
so
that's 8 for you.
large dragon turtle. Blah 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 blah.
And how much were
Right
you
over there.
still hurt?
I still have 18 damage, but I mean, give
try.
priority to.
Yeah, I can't do him anymore.
Oh, right.
So
Fucked
that's
it up.
also 9 hit points.
You just
Okay,
didn't want
chill.
it bad enough.
And
gonna be-
I'll try and repeat this until I fail, basically.
Okay.
So that's a. Let's see.
Excuse me, you repeat this until you fail?
Yeah, I can basically do this every time until they get.
Enough.
What's the word for it? If I fail my check, then they get. I forgot the word.
You
for
So
it.
you can keep using medicine until you
Until-
fail.
Until a critical
damn.
fail.
No,
Alright,
un-
just a fail.
I think until I
Wow.
fail.
Nice.
But
Sweet.
can I have the thing? But
Yeah,
I'm
of
pretty
course.
sure that's the case.
That's
I
per
forgot the word
person.
for it.
Either way,
Yeah.
it'll be okay, because that rhymes.
So I'm full health now, I
Yeah.
guess.
Because the rest of the evening is, you have done your job. The crew of the Bellathrone is using their manpower to get everything ready. Also assess a little bit of the damage. Hannah, eventually Ilora walks up to you. Excuse me, I did understand that you actually had a spell to, repair certain things. As she is looking to the ground, as these large pterodactyl-like creatures, when they landed, they ripped like a few planks out of like the deck itself.
Yeah, I have to get some rest first because
Of course,
I've
but
used it all last night.
but do you think you could help us a little bit with this? As she points to the deck.
Yeah,
and
of
it seems
course. Yeah.
All right, beautiful. So for now, then we will just make sure that it's secure, and then we'll talk further tomorrow.
If anyone's paying attention, you might notice that Gurkal has kind of like drifted off into a comfortable sleep, lying near the front of the ship, near the ballista. Just kind of, like at one point, he just kind of dozed off happily after, like this after combat sleepiness, you know?
Dural walks up to you, and just like with you, just like ugh, like the cool wind, still a little bit of rain, like just a drizzle, like very fine, like,
Like
as a
misty,
wave, like
almost
misty,
misty.
that sort of stuff, washing over your face, lovely. But eventually you hear like a small thud against your leg, as you open your eyes a little bit, and Dural, also like soaking wet right now, with his shirt off, like a little bit in the same vibe as Gurkal, I think, is standing over you with 2 small little cups and a bottle of some sort of liquor in like a pottery type bottle is looming over you, and the pottery also has like a small net of rope around it to actually like hang it up somewhere. And he's
Cool.
holding like one of the cups out for you.
Gurkal looks up, like he has these tiny sleepy eyes for a moment, as far as that's possible with his dragon face. He looks up. Ha! Yes.
Although I do realize that a after-battle nap is beautiful. Cork comes out of it. You should write this beforehand. Clink.
Yes. Clink. Recall like.
Ooh, that burns. That burns beautifully.
Gurkal has heat resistance.
Do you have poison resistance? You have poison resistance.
Fair.
Like this would be a poison that does fire damage. So no, but it's a very very strong liquor. It almost has a sort of like when water hits gravel and it dusts a little bit, and then you have like this mixture of of dust and water in your mouth. It almost tastes like that a little bit earthy, a little bit stony.
Like you make it sound nice, but I'm thinking of it and it feels disgusting.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's like
It's like this commercial, like a commercial, you know.
like look,
this
it tastes like
gravelly
dirt, but it's
taste
like
hits your mouth.
It's like this booze. It
Awesome,
tastes
I guess.
like shit.
pretty much
But you won't mind because you're drunk.
Yeah.
one of the
Your
few
call doesn't
things.
mind because
Yeah.
he's drunk.
One of the few things my people did right. He hangs it like on his belt a little bit, like with the netting, secured it. Now go ahead and get your rest.
Yes. And Gurkal just like takes a sip and puts it down and like nods
You don't
back.
go to bed.
And before you actually nod off,
Sloppy.
Dural is actually, all right, you maggots, let's get to work. And you get back out of your slumber for a minute as he like commands the rest of the crew to get into business, as the battle is now done and they need to get their ship back in order and on track.
My job is over at
Yep.
this point.
To elaborate on the treat wounds, if you succeed at your check, you can continue treating targets to grant additional healing. If you
Nice.
treat them for a total of 1 hour, double the hit points they regain from treat wounds.
Nice.
So basically, if you do it for an hour, constantly heal them properly, then
Awesome.
they get a lot.
So Allison can be a doctor,
Yep.
basically, and just like get someone in bed and then like treat them for an hour.
And if you fail, they get bolstered for an hour.
If you critically fail, they get 1d8
Damage.
damage.
Yeah.
then you stab them with your scalpel, for
Yeah,
example.
but it's really hard for me to critically fail. It's a
Alright.
natural one, then I only critically
well.
fail.
So I believe that enough of the battle map has been shown, as the dragon turtle is now secure behind you guys, and you are continuing your journey forward. So, is there anything one of you would like to do before the journey continues, or
Very.
do you just want to go back to bed at this point?
I would
want
very
to
much
go
like to do alchemy.
to bed.
You would very much like to do alchemy. If you would continue to do alchemy right now, because this was already like during the night, you were
okay,
at the
fair.
moment of like ending already. So if you would want to continue, then you would miss your long rests, which
Then I would
isn't
not.
really a problem at this point because you can like rest during the next day if you want to. But it's
Nah,
just like
I'll rest first.
right.
How much damage did the deck get? Do I need like 2 or 3 mendings?
How much hit points can you heal with it?
5 per, did you said last time, right?
I think. Yeah, 5 hit points.
5 hit points? Okay, so let me just get like a rough estimate for you. Because the deck was made of nothing wood, just wood, hardness 5. Yeah, so basically there would be like 5 different places where it took like 2 or 3 points of damage. So you would have to use 2 or 3 of your mending spells to actually get everything done.
And I'll prepare 3. Just
Yeah,
in case.
alright. Alright. But for now at least,
Yeah, I can't imagine we're gonna have some serious issues against
Yeah.
or
In
need
one
for your
day.
magic against.
Unless
Just
this
like to
storm is
prepare air
really
bubble just
Yeah,
in
that's
case.
fair.
yeah. It seems like you have like at least for now got out of like the heavy storm, and right now it's just like bad weather.
Yeah.
But,
So
but quiet.
could it be that the storm killed the dragon turtle?
Well, the thing that caused the storm killed the dragon turtle.
Oh, conspiracy theories.
Mm.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, yeah, makes sense. Okay,
Right.
I'll take it.
Yeah, they did say
It didn't seem
wasn't an
natural.
ordinary
Oh,
I still
Yeah,
think
it's
it's
like-
Gurkal
I
wasn't
still
really
think it's
listening at
Gurnau.
that point.
I think Gurnau is out to kill us. It's a god that tries to kill us.
Sure. Yeah, testing. That's what we call it.
Trials. Trials. Isn't the Dungeons and Dragons and all these sort of tabletop RPGs nothing more than just trials for our heroes?
Basically.
All right. Everybody goes to their quarters. Eventually, one of the sailors also walks up to Rukal and, sir, wouldn't you rather sleep where you will? Very well. He walks off. Eventually, though, everybody has a nice long rest. Wakes up the next day to a quiet day. Breakfast is being served.
One question. Early in the morning, how many people are there on deck? Because I get up earlier to do some stuff.
At every time, there are at least 5 people on deck to make sure that everything is. Basically, they work in shifts because it is a long journey, and the Bellathrone seems to have a knack of getting there as fast as possible because, well, they hired you guys for a reason. These are like dangerous waters, so let's get the heck out of Dodge.
Is there a place on the ship where I can get a little bit of privacy, or is there not?
Well, you had like your little alchemy laboratory set up.
Yeah, but is there an? You know what I'm doing every morning.
How much space would you need for that?
I feel like a total of 10 feet square. 10
You could
square
get like
feet.
you could get like one spot where you have like 10 feet by 5 feet, which is just like a little bit of space, and that would be like in a cargo hold with all like provisions. So you could like walk up there and just like scratch your head a little bit and just like start moving a little bit of cratage and like barrels
if that's
to
the
make
case,
a little bit of space.
then Allison would just go on top of the deck, and yeah, people will just see him fill all the time. You know what he fills.
All right.
But
Grakal, eventually you wake up in the morning and the rest of the crew of the Bellathrone has accepted what is happening, but now you can see Allison. Allison, what does he see?
Basically, when you wake up and you open your eyes, you see Allison performing some sort of dance, some sort of sword dance, but it's really elaborate and really difficult, it seems, for Allison. And you see, like, every 10 seconds, he basically just stumbles and drops his sword and falls on the ground flat face first. And he bites on his lip a bit, on his tongue a bit, and he stands up and he repeats, but it just seems not to work out. And he continuously does this until he, at some point, is really sweaty, really done with it, and then he takes his stuff, cleans off.
Well, like the end, I think I wouldn't see the end. So Grakal is kind of confused as he wakes up, you know. So you see Allison. Oh, I have a hangover. Like, oh, what did Dural give me last night? Like, oh, okay. So Grakal gets up and he looks at Allison and, you know what? Your thing? And Grakal doesn't really have a lot of social awareness, but he obviously has noticed you sneaking off each morning, so he's just gonna give this to you and just kind of groggily head below deck and just completely ignore this, like pretend it's not happening.
Even in a tribe, Grakal has learned the concept of privacy. Whatever that might mean in different civilizations.
Like there's probably a reason, and by this point he's kind of getting, not understanding, but getting like the shameful nature that he has, right? So there's this semi-understanding going on, like, okay, you know what? Hands off, not my business as long as he's good during battle.
Eventually, as the two of you are just like getting into the rhythm of waking up at a certain time, you can actually hear it. Breakfast is being served.
So, just a quick catch up. Did you do lay on hands on me?
Yeah,
Or am I
let's
still-
say I lay on handed and stuff. I mean, we have plenty of time for that.
Yeah, you're still at 1 hit point.
In that case, I really want my breakfast.
With a little bit of metagaming, like the danger had passed, the pack has done its job, and right now you had just taken your well-earned rest. And even if the lay on hands set wouldn't have been enough, you could
Allison
also
will treat
get
you
a
again.
few hit points
It
back
will-
from a long rest.
I'm healed.
Like
That's the most
like
important.
for gameplay reasons, you are healed completely. You're still a little bit bruised and like might be a little bit sore because well
Everything
you
still
did do
sucks.
some stuff. Yeah. Well, it still
agree
hurts to
with
move
Mélo
like the
on this
first
one.
few seconds after you get out of bed. Like ow, ow. Okay, like muscles getting loose again. Okay, I'm good. There you go, Bella.
When you ask for it, Allison can give you a bit of a massage. You actually
Give a
can.
little
I'm
egg
okay.
check.
I'll just do some
Girls like
some
okay.
light yoga.
All right. All of you are again seated at the similar table as before, with the captain this time, Marcus, sitting there with you as well again, and starting to talk. Well now, for every one of you who had not actually witnessed what had happened last night, first off, good for you that you could actually sleep through all that ruckus. However, it seems that the pack that we have hired for this journey has proven their worth to us. Last night we were attacked by a group of scavenging avian creatures that are not known to me. I do not know if our bodyguards actually knew what they were, but...
I believe they were called chickens.
Yeah.
Very well.
Familiar.
I have a question.
Of course.
Are we being served chicken? Or like bird?
Oh,
You take a look at it, and not yet, but the captain actually continues.
Oh.
However, they aren't really chickens. They will be put to good use. I have conversed with Fisher already, and it seems that they do have some succulent meat that, yes, they indeed do seem to taste like chicken. So we will be using it for more provisions as well.
If
They're called actually like.
they would have been prepared already, like at least taken out of all the organs, etc.
Yeah,
Else it
yeah.
would have been rotten.
Like
already.
Fisher, what Fisher has done, Fisher has already taken them into the hold and prepared them, but for breakfast they will not be used. The meats are currently salted, I believe. Yes, indeed. So they will be ready for tonight. So it seems that, I have good news and some bad news. The bad news is that we will not be able to keep all of the meat. The good news is that we will have to be, it will have to be consumed this evening for the large part. So it seems that we will have somewhat of a feast before we actually get into the harbor of the Isle of Araya.
Best news Gurkhal's heard all his life.
At some
So
point,
much food.
Allison would have inspected
Same for
the
us.
chickens.
Same for Iron.
Oh,
I'll repeat myself. At some point, Allison would have inspected the chickens. Are they drake-like in nature?
they seem to be, you haven't really inspected them, but you'll take a look at them. They were like the mean between a bird and a pterodactyl. So if Max ever has seen these pictures on the internet of how dinosaurs eventually evolved into chickens, for example, somewhere in the median of that. They had some feathers on their heads, but furthermore they just had not bat-like wings, but basically in between of pterodactyls and birds.
The thing Allison is wondering about if these creatures are related to the turtle or we're just scavenging it.
You haven't heard of these creatures, and also if you take a look at their beaks, that's something that actually shows you off. It isn't really reptile-like; it's more bird-like. So they had actual beaks. They didn't. So you do not see any
Relation.
Well, you do not see any markers that they would be draconic.
Ira would like to make a tinfoil hat for Allison. just
What's
come
that?
out. It's not all connected.
I have no idea what this is.
First off, where did you get aluminum foil?
Yeah.
Let me just
It's on my
open this door.
backpack, man.
Let me just open this door in the fourth wall and just
Yeah.
get some aluminum foil into
It's
this
in my
campaign.
backpack. It's just next to my.
He's a sorcerer. Magic is a good explanation here.
Magic.
Just next to my vacuum cleaner.
How did you get this thin sheet of metal? I ordered it via internet.
Amazon.com.
From a marketplace
let's-
called AliExpress.
Guys, let's.
Okay. So no, but remembering what you saw of these creatures, they do not seem to be dragon-like. They seem to be dinosaur-like, whatever that might mean to the mind of Allison.
Cool. Good to know.
So it seems that our last day will be a pleasant one, at least, unless this storm seems to be picking up again. Although it does not seem to be the case, does it, Ilora? No, indeed. It seems to be calming down quite a bit, although the weather seems to be depressing, to say the least.
A little bit, yeah.
Very well.
After finishing my food, I'll go.
Yeah. Hannah, are you finished?
Yeah.
Then let me escort you to the workplace, as Ilora is taking you above deck.
Gurkhal is going to armor up. Clean his armor a bit, as
Still
far as he
raining.
understands how cleaning works. And he's gonna then armor up and just kind of just be bored on the top deck of the ship with his weapons?
Well,
Oh, and he's gonna maybe spar with
exactly
Dural.
as you can just like continue your training with Dural to get proficiency into the next splitter weapon. All right.
Iroh's just gonna meditate a bit.
Okay.
How many days has it been since Allison slept for the last time?
You would now be getting like a little bit of bags under your eyes as we are now, because you slept just before we went on this journey. The journey is 7 days into Eritrea, like
So
the
basically,
port
when
city.
we hit there,
It will be like a, yeah, so you just will manage to avoid it being seen by the populace of the Bellathrone.
Yeah, have you thought about that dilemma, or are you gonna tell
he's
the captain?
he's constantly thinking about it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've got my rope.
All right.
It's
So,
fine.
is there anything you
And
would like to
my
do?
Yeah,
ass.
Allison's gonna do alchemy.
You're gonna do alchemy?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna do alchemy.
So you ask Danny, and oh yeah, of course. Feel free to use it. I have some other business to do to make sure that the dragon turtle that we actually found is being hauled correctly. So my workplace is yours to use.
Thank you. I'll just set up my own
No
stuff.
worries. Although you're not using any of my reagents.
Oh
are
no,
you?
definitely not.
Okay,
No,
very
I have
good,
my
very
own. I also just have my own alchemy set, so I'll just use my own stuff.
Good, good.
No worries.
Very well. Okay.
And I'm
So-
gonna steal all of his stuff.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Yeah,
Just
you can.
most of the stuff.
Oh, we could mutiny.
Yes.
I mean,
we could mutiny.
We could mutiny.
We
we
could
could do
English
a mutiny.
sentences.
we could most
In
definitely
character.
mutiny.
Yeah, they're gonna be very happy. With
We
this
might
then.
start a mutiny.
Well, we do get a ship.
So,
probably.
Hannah, at the top of the ship,
Yeah.
you are escorted by Alora there, and you are starting to cast your mending spells. And Alora is just standing there, commanding a couple of the sailors around, but also talking to you. So, Hannah,
Yeah.
pardon if I am intruding a little bit, but I had seemed to have caught that you do not really know much of your heritage. Is this correct?
Yeah, that's true.
Would you like to learn?
If you know something, yeah.
Well, at the far side of the continent, I have studied in a place called the Glencoe College. Yes, a place where certain persons of my provision, of the bardic provision, get their expertise in, well, a combination of three things actually. First off, performance. In my case, my, well, presence on this vessel, which aids me a great deal in being the quartermaster of the Bellathrone. The second is the magic of the bardic provision, a way to weave magic into my words and make sure that, well, for example, what happened last night, that our combat prowess is as high as we can get it. And a third is to learn as much of the law of this world as I can, as these three things are intertwined with each other. As such, I've also learned a great deal of, well, you can see that I am of the elven heritage as well. The Bellathrone are not so far from our people.
Do you mean we are same?
Somewhat. Do you know where we collectively hail from?
No.
All right. Well, let's. She's trying to find the right words. Let's start off slowly. Have you heard of Corello, the great elven deity?
Corralon, with
Corleone.
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 Not to be confused with Don Corleone, which is a whole
Which is my god.
No. Corellon was the god of the elves and also of your kind in times past. However,
Is he
We-
still my god?
if you choose him to be,
Oh
but
my god.
in the ancient times, stories are told that us, the elves, and you as well, as an Eladrin sort of elf it seems, were changing, were wild, were capable of all different types of forms until we lost grace with our Lord. And and as such we settled into the different forms that we see here today. However, you, as an Eladrin, are in some ways closer to him than we are, as you are most surely aware of the fact that you change your shape with the different emotions that you feel. It also makes it very apparent that you do not control this process.
Can I control this?
The Eladrin elves, who, well, let's not talk about where you hail from, let's just talk about who you are for now. I should just sit down with you. The Eladrin elves are of the 4 seasons, and these are also the 4 colors that your visage takes on,
Yeah.
compared to the different emotions. However, an Eladrin elf who grew up in their own communities, who has learned to control their emotions, can also control these different effects and use them. Because while your druidic power might be very strong for you right now, your Eladrin heritage could even help you control this. Because,
So I can do more magic.
well, yes, the different seasons that are apparent in your visage bring with them different wounds linked to those seasons. The heat of the summer sun could radiate outwards from you, or the cold of the winter, or the fleeting visage of the leaves falling during fall. All these effects can be made yours if you would control your own visage.
How can I learn this? I don't know any
Well.
other Eladrin elves.
Well, that's also where my expertise on this subject ends. I've only studied your people and what they can, not their whole life cycle or their way of study or internal contemplation.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Do you maybe know why I don't have any parents? Where could they be? Because you studied them, right?
You have to understand that I just study you as a people, as one might study well, for example, Allison has studied a great deal about different sorts of creatures, I believe, and it is a very shallow understanding that I have of your people, and I do not know where your parents might be. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Although, look, I do not want to give you any false hope, but I might have a little bit more information about your people. You see, there are certain places where your people flourish, where they are found more.
Yeah. Do you know? Where?
Well, first off, most places where elves are found. For example, Allison might know some of the Eladrin people, or at least have seen them on like his home, province of the Free Broken Isles, or further down south in Variawood, the large jungle district where a lot of wood elves live. There might also be Eladrin. But the thing I was getting to was the place that your people originally seem to hail from. And that is a place outside of this world. You see, as your people are much wilder and malleable and changing, they seem to flock to a place where the plane seems to be working the same.
So you're saying I might not be from this world?
It might be. And if that might be the case, then chances are that you would hail from a place called the Feywild. Have you heard of this place?
Once, but not that.
Right.
Alison mentioned it
But
before.
not really.
All right. Again, my understanding of this place is also quite shallow. However, I do seem to grasp the fact that it is some sort of mirror place to our own material world here, where forces of life and change and chaos are much more present. Now, please do not see this as a positive thing. It is as neutral as our own material plane itself. However, it is very wild and changing and
Just like my emotions.
perhaps, yes. Look, again, do not pick this up as me telling you that your parents will be residing in the plane, because again, I do not want to give you any false hope. But if you want to learn more about your people, then perhaps make sure you visit Faria Wood, the Three Broken Isles, or go all in and venture into this wild plain known as the Feywild.
How do I get to the Feywild?
Well, that is a large question.
Is there like
I have read
door or
yes and no. I've spoken to some scholars who or bluffed their way or actually were being honest when they told me that they controlled magics that could actually get yourself into the Feywild.
do you have names?
Well, these one up. I do have a name actually, but I'll have to get the right document.
We're gonna need that black and white.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I gotta get
I will
into
ask
the.
everyone for
gotta get,
this
like-
name.
No, I gotta get
I'd
like
like to have the spelling and
the document with.
pronunciation.
In all different languages.
There we need Twilio. There
How
we
do you
go.
write this phonetically?
Glencoe College.
Or in,
There we go.
in Jotun.
Well, my head of arts, who told me about this, was a halfling bard known by the name of Stella Testarossa. She was the head of arts at Glencoe College, where I studied, as I said. And Stella Testarossa. Testarossa. But again, the Glencoe College is a far away from here. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask them. You have proven your worth to the crew of the Bellathrone, and with that, to me, as quartermaster. So, the least thing I can do is share some of my bardic knowledge with you.
Yeah. I don't know, because I grew up with humans, so I'm not really sure what to ask. Like Allison, he told me about that it's weird that I sleep instead of trance.
You sleep.
The only thing I know is that I can lay down and close my eyes, and then I don't know how to.
Again, stop me anytime
You know.
I pry, but what are your dreams like?
Good question.
I'd rather not talk about that.
Very well. Look, if you would like to have some training in meditation, I believe there are, well, at least 2 persons here on this vessel that might aid you in it. Myself and Alison, of course.
Yeah.
Alison already showed you the ropes a little bit.
Yeah, but not enough to like actually do it.
Look, we have a very long journey ahead of us. I don't know if you actually heard it correctly, but
Can you
I don't know if that's okay.
show me how to be an elf?
That's a really cute question. I just want to emphasize that.
Oh dear, how to answer this question? Do you think that there is a right way to be an elf?
I at least don't think I am a good elf.
And why do you think that?
Because I only know the human way.
Well now, you are speaking to an elf right now who kind of relinquished her own people, her own kind, to go on vast journeys on board of a ship called the Bellathrone and aid for a crew which is almost entirely human.
Yeah. Do they like you?
Why do you think I'm the quartermaster of this vessel?
That's fair.
I mean, Recall doesn't know, but from a an out of character perspective, Wouter has often described how
Yeah.
hot she is.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
And this is a mostly male crew, so I'm just imagining.
And again, you have seen how she weaves her words together. Like, of course, they are magical, her words, because she is a bard. But,
Cheats.
well, then you cheat as well with everything you do in combat.
Cheater!
But to get back into this conversation,
Yeah.
I do not feel that there is a right way for anyone to be an elf. I seem to remember that even some of the elven gods were gods that actually entered the pantheon as gods that, what do you call it, relied on breaking with the status quo and being an outlaw of some sorts.
So you're saying.
So if even an elven god was an outlaw, who says that there is a right way to be an elf?
That's fair.
Look, our lives are long. We are blessed with it. It would be a shame for you to miss out on these beautiful years only worrying about you being the right person. The only thing I've seen of you for these last couple of days is that you have earned the trust of our captain, which has earned my trust. And next to that, last night you have proven yourself worthy adversaries of any foe that might be coming on our way. You have done your job. So, if you're asking me if you are the right elf, in this skipper's humble opinion, it seems to be that you are.
That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Girl, I am just.
So sweet. So sweet.
All right now, it seems to be that your job is finished, and again, you have proven your worth to this vessel as you have, well, mended it back to full health. My job is still here on deck, but if you want to have any more training in the acts of trance and to get rid of these dreams that you are having, I feel that Alison would be a good person to talk to right now, and afterwards this evening my duties will be finished, and then I'm free to converse with you once again. Thank you. All right, let's get this vessel moving. As she steps off and goes conversing with her other crew.
Aw. Do you feel that? That feels like character development.
Oh,
Level up. Wait.
Again, how much XP?
yeah. Am I level 3 now?
We'll see what happens at the end of this session. All right. The rest of you are just working away. Is there anything you would like to do for the rest of the day?
How many hours do I get into alchemy?
Well, if you want, you can spend a full working day on it.
I would.
So, bam! But if there is anything you want to discuss with one of the crew members, or do you have to want to have a moment, because like privacy is something, well, you are stuck with each other.
I would also like to talk to our elfin lady.
All right.
And I will stand in the back of line at the end of this line.
Everyone's
Well,
gonna
yeah.
talk to her.
Yeah.
Love it.
She's amazing, though. I need to.
Eventually,
The call doesn't get what the whole thing is about. Like, Dragonborn don't. Do Dragonborn have breasts? Yeah, that's a big philosophical
Yeah,
question. Because if
female
the answer is no, he has no idea
dragonborn.
why anyone cares about this elven lady.
female dragonborn. Female dragonborn.
Yeah, I don't know what you're gonna get if you Google it.
No.
Well, I found
Don't-
some with breasts.
Don't Tumblr it. Don't Tumblr it.
No, like the thing is, like I only get like the Skyrim dragonborn, you
Yeah.
know. But no,
Ah.
it seems
That's fair.
there seem to be some dragonborn depictions where they do indeed have breasts.
But still, like, he doesn't get what the elven lady's about. He's I mean, I imagine Dural's gonna be busy.
Well,
as
Durrell
well?
will be busy with you if you want to.
Oh, fair, yeah. So he's just kind of sparring.
Wink,
No
wink.
homo though. He's just sparring with Dural, and aside from that, he is just standing at the front of the ship, standing guard.
Yeah.
Now, your call doesn't really get this the whole ocean situation yet, like the whole actual size of it. So he's just kind of standing guard, like, no, I got this, guys. If there's anything coming, I'll see it. and I'll kill it.
At some point, Allison walks up to you. I think maybe it's better to stand up there if you want to see further.
As you can see the crow's nest.
I look up. No. Much climbing. Less stabbing. And I stand again like my skills caressed by the ocean wind.
Tap him on the shoulder.
Yeah.
You do you.
Well, spear and shield, you know.
Well, although, Grokal, while you were training with Dural, indeed it does seem strange that he has 4 hours for you every day.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And it seems strange that he has so much time for you.
Well, not to Grokal.
No, okay, that's
To
like,
Grokal, he's like, okay, so if a crew member is bad, Dural
Whacks him on the head.
Yeah, and then Dural can do his business again. You know, it's kind of like Grokal. Like if Iroh gets out of line or Hanai, black. Or it usually actually it's Allison who gets out of line and he smacks him once a week roughly.
Once a week. The rest of the week he's doing great.
The rest of the week it's all awesome.
Grokal's life is one
Okay.
big game of whack-a-mole. Like
Yeah,
someone gets
so
up,
this-
smack him back down.
This makes perfect sense.
All right, so Grokal, you are standing guard. Go ahead and make a perception check for me, please.
It's a natural 9, total of 12.
All right, so now roll a d6 for how many dragon turtles you know.
I actually had the d6 in my hand.
You can actually, as you are watching, like over the ocean, eventually you can see like somewhere very, very far to the right, like it seems to be like just on the horizon, there is some wave of a landmass, as it seems to be that while you are sailing north, you can see just now, just like the very, very border of the northern part of Treyhaven.
It's beautiful.
And eventually, as you are as you are looking over the ocean, you can also see something moving beneath the waves. Something similar to your size. As eventually, you can actually see something burst through the waves and jump back into the water. Another one, and another one. These strange, elongated, smooth, gray creatures are jumping up from the water and jumping back into it. And as they jump up, sometimes they make some noises, as they seem to be joining your vessel on its journey further north.
So Grokal looks up to his god, Kurunal, right? He looks up at the sun.
Thank you for the meal.
Yeah, not
I'm afraid
but
the
close.
weather. I'm sorry. I'm afraid that the weather is still pretty bad. So it's a depressing gray all around.
That's fair. He just looks up at where he guesses Kurunal.
You can see like the place where the gray sky is a little bit brighter, where you
Brighter,
know
yeah.
that the sun is. Yeah.
So he kind of looks up at there, and like he's contemplating, like he was stolen away from his tribe as a slave, brought to this place, and now he's hunting down the guy that enslaved him before he's going home. Like it doesn't really make sense, but he looks at Kurunal and he just nods and he says, "Thank you," and he looks back at the weird jumping things.
And he loads up the ballista.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. All right.
Who's up for some fish sticks?
Is there also a white one?
Doesn't seem to be.
Ooh.
Tell me more.
Just 10 meters from Grokal, Ilora is still standing at the helm of this. Sorry, not 10 meters, like 20 meters. Standing from Grokal, Ilora is now standing at the helm of this vessel as the quartermaster. She's taking over for the skipper, and she can actually see that at the other side of the ship, Allison walks up, gives a nod, and she can see that Allison is walking up to her. Greetings, Allison.
Do you have some time during your driving of this vessel?
Is it of importance or?
Could be another time. If that would suit better.
No. I think I have some time. She whistles someone over, gives some commands to the person. Also points like at the dragon turtle, like make sure it doesn't like creak, because you can see now that there are 2 large ropes attached to like the backhand of the vessel. Just like around, you have like a railing with like poles. And then like a large wooden beam over it, that's like the end of the vessel. And like at the 2 corners, there are 2 large ropes attached with back of them the dragon turtle. So if you would make too sharp a turn, then one might snap. So it's like, she is making sure, be careful, do this, don't do this. And she walks up to you. So, what can I help you with?
Um, Well, I think we should start. I think we should start. Maybe we should start with the a few days ago, you seem to be under the impression that I was capable of casting magic. How come?
Well, because I saw you do it, I believe.
When?
The globules. It was some sort of an of a spell that might bolster your friends during the storm.
Some things.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
All right, it seems to be
Another existential crisis.
like Elora is thinking to herself. It seems I'm being a teacher this very. But let's get back into character. So, you are not aware that you are casting spells.
Well, people try to teach me how to do magic at my home, but I never seem to have the knack for it. I did the learnings about it. I did do learnings about the arcana. I did do learnings about occultism and all that sort of stuff. Religion never really took off for me, but I never managed to do anything with it.
Well, not to be crude, but it seems that you are mistaken with this. Because it was clearly shown that some sort of magical essence. Well, I don't prize myself at interpreting the sparks of the different schools of magic, but it seems to be something of an arcane nature ventured out from you and towards. I do not remember which one of your teammates, but
I think it might have been me.
point of origin was clear to me.
Max doesn't remember this. Okay. Well, I've at least always been very interested in the bardic school. Like,
Right.
What you did during the combat was amazing.
Thank you. Although I have to be honest with you, I can sense where this conversation is going.
Oh, I'm
I
not
am-
looking for a teacher, don't worry.
Good, good.
You're
That
busy.
relieves me very much.
You're busy. I get that.
I have chosen my vocation very carefully.
I'm aware of that. All right. Just one question. How do you provoke your magic? Like, how do you cast it? Where do you...
Well, I think that is already part of the problem then. Because the word provoke would never be something that would leave my mouth concerning my magic. The bardic profession is very much tied to an art form. For me, it is simply the art of giving speeches. I have trained myself day in, day out to be a good public speaker, and eventually, when your skill in such a profession becomes great enough, you can learn to also tap into the magic of words within them and weave in arcane traditions into the words that you speak. It's not something to be forced. It is something to be lured out instead of provoked.
All right.
But as I am a giver of speeches, as you have seen last night during our battle as well, that is the way that I lure out the magic in me. But there are many bards that do very, very different things. I have seen people, well, of course, the most prominent of them is they that use an instrument or their own voice in singing to provoke some sort of arcane energy into the world. But I've also seen multiple people like me who are just ones that have a good grasp of knowledge and of language and can actually provoke magic in that way. Or there are even people I have learned of that can shape the sounds around them without actually making any of their own. I have heard that these are called maestros, the ones that can actually use the sounds around them and get the whole world to perform music for them in a certain way.
All right.
Speaking of maestros, I'd just like to take this opportunity to plug my own channel.
Seriously, Charlie? Seriously?
Okay, sorry. Continue.
Let's get back in.
Charlie D. What?
But I would, if you are willing to pick up this bardic provision as well, well, the easiest way normally would be to enter a college and enter their courses, as they are very well learned in making sure that people get this luring out of magic correctly. However, I feel that in your current life
I don't have
status,
that much time.
yes, that would be a little bit difficult.
But I'll
The
read
one
about
thing-
it. I'll
Well,
try something.
Well, one last thing then. The one thing that always came back with every one of my fellow students or even our teachers is passion. Find something that gives you, that you are passionate about. Train that. Make it rhythmical, make it musical, and then you will be able to use that as a sort of focus to lure out the magic. In the same way that, for example, our friend Hannah has used her staff as a focus for her druidic magics.
Very well.
Look, I have seen you perform your training routine multiple times on this deck.
I'm
And-
sorry for you that you had to see that.
I have read a little bit about the blade singers' professions. Why not make the rhythmic tapping of your blade and your shoes the one thing that solicits the arcane and bardic magics to come forth from your actions?
I was indeed thinking about that.
Again, I'm no professor on this matter, but it seems to be something that might be suitable as a substitute to a set of drums or a lute.
Thank you. I'll give it a go.
Yes, and it seems that I'll be giving him a go. Hello, Iro. You also wanted to speak to me?
Oh, hi,
Yes.
Aaron.
I've been standing here the whole time.
Yeah, he's
I'll-
small, so his
I'll
stealth
pat him
check
on the
gets
back.
like a bonus,
I'll,
right?
Yeah.
I'll leave the two be.
I was just
you be.
simply
Oh,
eating an
and
apple.
Alison, what we talked about with informing Hannah, I've spoken to her. I think she would like for you to speak with her as well.
Thank you. In that case, I will.
I find it very peculiar that I have never seen you not eating.
You're not the first.
That's very true. That's something that amazes me too.
And it never stopped since.
And Alison bows. Thank you very
Separate
much.
bag of
Walks off.
snacks.
So, Iro, what can I help you with today? Before
Well,
I get back to my...
you know magic.
I
Right?
do, yes. Yes, indeed.
Good to know. I can do magic.
I have seen. Yes.
Good. You see?
Okay, whoo, give me 1 second.
You see? I've got no clue how. Any ideas?
It seems I've uncovered somewhat of a theme within your group.
Well, we're probably all a bit screw-ups in our own way.
Well, let me start off with one thing. In the studies I have done of all the different heroes that have walked this earth, there have never been a party of heroes that were normal. Now then,
True.
I'll take it.
Good enough for me.
Now then.
Can I get that in the writing as well?
in many a book, I believe. Now then, what can I help you with?
Do you have any clues where I get this from? What it is?
She's getting annoyed.
Like, the only thing I know is that I can do stuff.
Yes, I do have an idea where you get your talents from.
Great.
It seems to be that. Actually, she is.
I do have pen and paper.
Yeah. She is. As you pick up the pen and paper, she's like, well now, very well. And now she is a little bit lighthearted and begins talking to you. It seems to be that you have a party amongst yourselves with a very wide spectrum of all the different forms of magic that can be performed.
Yeah, that's true, because, I mean, Grakol is like godlike or something. He's got his god. They're bros.
Exactly. Yes.
Hannah, well, she's just a wood person. I mean, she's got nature behind her.
She likes big.
Can't screw with that. And well, Alison is there as well. Well, you just I listened in and I have yet to hear him sing, but
I have always been very happy with my studies of halfling culture, as you are proving a perfect specimen in the fact that you are very direct, but never crude in a way that might actually harm the feelings of others. It is a feat that many an elf could learn from you.
they can indeed.
She's actually grinning right now. She's enjoying this.
This is hilarious, yeah.
Because to give some backstory, like you are talking to an elf who has basically shunned elf society to go on adventures on the high seas. So, as you said, indeed, where Grakol is one of Grakol is godlike. Hannah gets her magic from nature itself. Alison seems to be your basic arcane spellcaster, using the weave around himself. And then we have you.
That's true.
There is a fourth group of ways where magic comes from. Although for you, it is still not clear among scholars if we could actually call it magic. Because you seem to be possessing something that scholars would label psionics. The ability to alter things with your mind. You see, Iroh, the idea that the likes of you and I are capable of such great feats of strength is the fact that when the gods created this plane and put us all together with all the different elements, we became something greater than the sum of our parts. This whole effect is often called potential by scholars. It is the reason why some of us might rise to different levels than other creatures, where while you might not grow much older, but your experience with the world will quickly turn your whole experience into very heavy feats of power and might. This is also the reason why adventurers of you are actually a thing.
I do like the sound of that.
And one of the ways that the potential came about in our mortal races in the way of psionics, there's not much known about these sorts of magics. And I have good news and bad news when it comes to you learning them. The bad news is you won't, it seems. The good news is that you will be uncovering them as you go.
Well, to be honest, I do like the sound of that. I spend a lot of time reading books, and this is a lot more fun.
Not your thing, is it? No.
Well,
I figured as much.
yeah.
Look, I have talked to your other party members who do not know heads or tails of their own origins or their own sources of magic.
No.
So do not quote me on this when I say that you have some psionic power within you. But well, you seem to hold all the marks for it.
Cool.
So, when they do turn up, try not to blow stuff up. And
Between you and me, I can't blow stuff up.
yet. Good day, Iroh. She walks off back to the.
May I just
Good
point
day.
out that the only party member with an intelligence of 8 and a wisdom of 8
Who
is
actually
also
knows
the
what he's
only
doing.
party member who's secure in his own abilities.
Yeah, that's
I feel like ignorance is bliss is very applicable here.
Very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Allison is very aware that there are a lot of people who are way better at what he does than that he is, and that kind of gets him back. Yeah, holds him back.
Right. But after these different conversations with Ilora, you can actually hear the pack. Would you please join the captain on the deck, please? I would like to inform you on our next arrival earlier the next morning. And before that happens, we will take a little break, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Thank God, I need to pee.
Oh, I love Ilona.